Guten Tag, Deutsch 1. Hier ist ein Video für euch über Verben. Verben. Here is a video for you about verbs. Verbs. What are verbs? Okay, they are action words. So up until now, we've learned about a lot of nouns and how to describe like things or people, like a cell phone, ein Handy, a computer, der Computer, a marker, der Stift. Okay. We've learned a few words for like I, ich, right? You, du. Okay. But in order to really speak, to really convey any kind of meaning to someone, to really tell them something, you've got to attach that to some kind of an action, right? I think. Okay. The cell phone needs charged. Okay. The coffee is hot. Okay. You got to have some kind of I drink the coffee. I drink a lot of coffee. Okay. You got to add actions to nouns so you can make sentences. You can't have a sentence without some kind of a subject. That is the thing or person or place. And then an action that goes with it. Okay. Let's see. Florida is hot. Okay. Is your. It's not really an action, but it's a verb there. Yes. Florida has Disney World. Okay. For example. Okay. All right. So now, in order to move forward with this, if you haven't learned this up till now, you need to know these things. I, you, he, she, or it, we, you, all, and they, because this box can hold anything in the world that you would want to talk about and beyond, anything period that you would want to talk about, because we could say black holes. We don't have one of those here. Black holes are, okay, mysterious, all right? Okay, for example. All right, so we've talked about this box, and there is a slideshow about it. I do, okay, and these pictures are good to learn, okay? And if you need some practice with those, there is a choice board now, okay? Here's our choice board. And you've seen this before, but you didn't see the colors. So the ones that have to deal with these subject pronouns are now in green, okay? So if you need work on those, there you go. Okay, practice the green ones. And then when you get really good at them, come back and, okay, are you back? Now we're going to learn about verbs that you would attach to those. Okay, for example, chillin', to chill. Okay. So there, I just did the first thing you need to know about a verb is, what is it in German? To chill. Chillen. Whoops, to chill. Sorry, I wrote the German twice. There we go. All right, so we have a list of, I think, 10 verbs on a Quizlet, and that's what's in yellow. Okay, so on the yellow ones, you will want to just make sure you know what all of those mean. Okay, yeah, I didn't write them up there. Okay, so you got to learn what they mean. All right, we have, I think, to go, gehen, to make, machen. Okay, take a look at that list, right? And then when you've learned those, we've got, okay, so first you learn your subjects, then you learn your verbs, and then you learn how to combine them. Okay, this does not involve learning any new words. All right, this is the weird part of language that people forget about. It's the grammar. Okay, it's the rules and little tweaks that you do to make it fit together. Okay, so, all right, and we have lots of grammar rules in English, but you've never really learned the grammar when you learn to speak something, okay? And you really don't need to learn the grammar to learn how to speak something. but you do have to learn the grammar in order to speak it properly. Okay. All right. So, and it's not that hard. Okay. I'm going to show you. All right. To chill. Okay. Now, when we apply a verb like to chill to all of these different pronouns. I chill. You chill. He chills. Wait a minute. He chills. I chill, you chill, he chills. We add an S to that. We say chills. Okay. I go, you go, he goes. We add an ES to that. I talk, you talk, he talks. Okay. This form gets an S. Okay. Germans do something exactly like that, only they go a little crazy because they have five different endings. Four different endings. Sorry, 4 different endings that they add to these words. Okay. So here we go. For ich, you have to add an E. Now, what do I mean to add? Well, we just said we have chill and then we add an S. Okay, in German, there's an EN on the end of an action word, and that kind of identifies it as an action word. Sometimes it's just an N, but in most cases it's an EN. Now I'm going to pull up that Quizlet here. There it is. There's the Quizlet with our words. To bake, to make, to come, to visit, to paint. All right, chillin, backen, machen, kommen. They all end in en in these dictionary forms, the general form of the verb. Gehen, schauen. Okay. Kaufen, spielen. And that en is just kind of a placeholder. Because when you use it, you might not have that on there. So in our mind, we have to take it off, and then we put the endings on. All right. For ich, okay, you add an E. Ich chille. All right, for du, you add an ST. Du chillst. Okay, for er or Z or S, for all of them, you add a T. Er chillt, or Z chillt, or S chillt. Okay. All right, for the we are chillin'. You add an EN. So in other words, now wait a minute, you just go back to the dictionary form, kind of like, right? You're chillin'. You're chillt. Y'all are chillin'. You chillt. And then they or you formal, EN again. Chillin'. Okay. And these are just patterns. It seems kind of weird, right? That they have all these different ones. But they're important. They're important. It's kind of like a custom that you have to follow. Otherwise, it offends people or it just sounds weird. Now imagine if someone came up to you and says, I goes to tubing. I goes tubing with my family next weekend. My brother go also. Goes you with us? Okay. You would understand, but you would think that's kind of weird, right? Right? This person just used the wrong endings. They knew what they were saying and they knew all the right words. They just didn't apply the right endings. Okay. Okay, so it's the same. You have to say wir, okay, wir gehen, we go, tubing, okay, and my brother, geht, he goes with us, and will you go with, du gehst, du, okay, are you going also? So you have the 3 different forms, okay. All right, let's look at our choice board. Okay, so the yellow ones are the activities that help you with what the meaning is. So chillen is to chill, gehen is to go, backen is to bake, kommen is to come. Okay, just English and German. All right. And again, the green was the pronouns. The yellow is what the verbs mean. And then the orange activities are where you apply these endings. Okay. And these are regular verb endings. There are thousands and thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of German verbs that follow exactly these rules. You'd simply take that en off and you add exactly these letters when you're talking about these different people. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now, yeah, we'll leave it at that. And here are some that are on in our games from past years that have kind of crept in. They are not on this Quizlet, but they are in the Gim kit, some of them. Let's see if I can you see all these? I don't know if you can. Here, I'm going to go down like this. There. Okay. There. Now, okay. Surfen, to surf. Suchen, to look for. Stehen, to stand. Chillen, we had that one. We had herumhängen in years past. It was much longer. Okay. And my host sister in Germany says, Krista, we don't use that. Okay. Mrs. Rogers. Kicken, to kick. Hören, to listen to. And schwimmen, to swim. These all apply. You all just use the same exact rules for those. All right. I'm going to move this up a little bit. So, again, if I want to say I surf, ich surfe. If I want to say you surf, du surfst. He surfs, surft. We surf, wir surfen. Okay, you all are going to surf, ihr surft. And they surf, sie surfen. Okay, just apply the endings. All right. Again, the orange here will help you do that. Okay. Now, if only it were that easy. But once you get good at those, I think maybe you should even stop the video now and try out this Gim kit here, and then come back. And when you're ready to hear a few tweaks that we're going to make to these, because not all verbs are totally regular. Yes, there are some good ones. Okay, all right, you're back. Great. Okay, so there's another choice board. And only has two things on it, and they are orange. So we're working with verb conjugation here. We are working with slightly strange verb conjugation. Okay, and here's what it's like. Specifically, it's these right here. Okay, sitzen, simsen, zeichnen, arbeiten, and verbs like them. Okay, to sit, to text, to draw, and to work. Okay, all right. So these are the exceptions here. Okay, so first, let's talk about, all right, when you have your stem of your verb, meaning your verb without the en. Take that off. Chilling. I hope you can see me here. I'm going to move this up a little bit more. There we go. All right, so you've got the stem of the verb is the dictionary form without the en. All right, if you take off the en here, I hope you can see all those now. And move this down a little bit. All right. If that ends in an S or a Z or an SZ, which has an S sound to it, like sitzen or simsen, okay, when you get to that S, we have a problem. And the problem is right here. All right. I'm going to just, okay, du. So let's try to say you text. Sims, that's the stem. And then we're supposed to add an ST. Well, now Germans like to pronounce every single letter. So when we get to this, we have Sims. Okay, that's just awkward. All right. The same with sitzen. Okay. Sitzt. Okay, they just can't do that. They have this weird meltdown. They just, I don't know what would happen to a German if they tried to say that, right? But having these in their language, they can't do it. So what they do, they came up with this exception here, and they just don't add the S. Okay, it's just as if they were here and they just added a T. Du simmst, du sitzt. Okay. Here's an example we've been using since the beginning of the year. Du heißt. Notice they don't, so heißen is to be called, and they take off that en and they don't make it st. They should, they don't. Okay, instead, okay, du heißt. Wie heißt du? They use this one. Okay. All right. So that's the first exception. All right. Manageable? Yeah. Okay. You can just kind of use your head when you find that. If you add the letters that are here and it seems like it would be really hard to pronounce, you're going to want to check. I'll show you how to do that in just a bit. All right. Now let's look at these two. Okay. To draw and to work. Got something different going on here. I'm going to go with to work. Du Arbeit. Okay, and again, we're in the do category here. If I were to apply the rule and add st, all right, du Arbeit. Okay, there we get a mouthful then too. All right, but they can't just take off that s, then you'd have an even worse problem. All right, so what do? They add an e. Du arbeitest. Okay. Now wait a minute. Say we're right here. Say we want to say he works. My brother, he works. Er. Okay, we're going to take the stem of the verb and we're going to add a t. We have that problem again. Er arbeitet. Okay, and it's the same here. Ihr arbeitet. They add an e for these three, where it would be hard. Okay. Any stem that ends in a t, or in some cases a d, is going to have that problem. Okay. Yeah. Okay, and the way to check, I'm going to show you, is if you go to Reverso. Okay, reverso.net here. I'm just going to go back to reverso.net like this. Whoops. Okay. There. It automatically goes to the translation page. I like Reverso. I don't know why. It seems to be nice, easy to navigate, and pretty accurate. Okay. So they have this thing called the conjugation. And it is algorithm generated. It is AI. It is not a real German checking these things, I don't think. But for the most part, it's pretty good. Okay, you got to pick a German verb. You got to pick German, and you got to type a German verb in there, like arbeiten, and hit conjugate. And it tells you arbeiten, to work or operate or collaborate. And if you look down, Präsens, the present tense. Ich arbeite, du arbeitest, er arbeitet, wir arbeiten, ihr arbeitet, sie arbeiten. These are all the forms. Okay, and you can see they add that e in there. Okay. All right. I do think Dictionary CC also will give you the conjugation. That one is checked by Germans, I do believe. Okay. All right. So there you go. You can check it there. Let's try zeichnen. Okay, something, well, let me first tell you about zeichnen. Here we go. The other verb that kind of, or the other type of verb that fits into that pattern of having to add an e. Du zeichnen, there's the stem. And if we have the pattern, we just add an st. Du zeichnest. Whoa. Okay. So we add an e here. Du zeichnest and er zeichnet. Okay. All right. These are the four that follow that pattern. Yes. Okay. In our exercises. So you just got to get familiar with those ones. And when you see draw or text or work or sit, you're going to know that hopefully that'll flag something in your head like, oh, that's a weird one. Or, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's it then. That's what you need to know. let me know if you have any questions. Practice, practice, practice. That's the only thing you can do with this, and practice regularly. So don't just for this test do them and say, oh, there, I did it, I'm done. The best thing is to every couple of days or so, try this out with some German verbs and see how it goes. All right, and you're going to get really good at it. All right. So, mach's gut. Tschüss.